What is up, Pokepeeps and Masters? It is Russ here, PokeRuss here. We are back for another deck profile. I know this one's a little bit late, but we're gonna try to keep on schedule through the month of December. We might have a few lapses, but we're gonna try to keep up. So I'm gonna do this thing where I do a new deck, update old deck, a new deck, and update old deck. That way, both kinds of players can get something out of it, whether they want to build a brand new set 2 deck, or they just want to update their old deck. So this deck's profile is actually going to be an updated version of the Beerus deck that we covered last season. It's still mono blue, but it's changed to more of a Gods build. So this is going to be the God deck. So, standard leader, we have the Beerus leader. We can get it to focus in. I don't know how to do it with this new cam. I also got a new setup, so if anything is not as focused, I'm still working on some of the things for it. I don't know if there's a button or something, but I do apologize. But you guys know what these cards do if you're into this card game. So, Beerus, when this card attacks and you have 3 or more energy, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 2 or less and KO it, and then when you have 4 or less life, awaken this card. It becomes Beerus, God of Destruction. Auto, when this card attacks, draw 1 card, then choose one of your opponent's energy or battle cards with an energy of 3 or less and KO it, and activate main. If you have pay 16, switch this card to rest mode, and you win the game. Plain and simple, pretty awesome. This effect has never been more achievable than it is now. This isn't the focus of the deck, but this is probably definitely the most chance that you're going to actually hit this effect off than you've ever had in the game. So that's pretty neat. So this is a mono blue deck. A lot of the cards are gods because there's a new god engine and it's really neat, and we're going to get straight into it. We're starting off with 4 Balm of the God Tempter. So Balm of the God Tempter allows you to search out the level 4 Whis. It can't search out the big Whis, but it searches out the level 4 Whis, which allows you to mana ramp. The whole goal of this deck is to mana ramp and get to your big Whis. Your big Whis is going to be your turn 12 Whis. We're going to get more into that once we get there. He's your win game condition, he's your win condition. He's just the end-all be-all of this deck. So, getting this on the field and mana ramping getting Beerus to mana ramp is going to be absolutely beautiful. Next, you have Universe 10 Supreme Kai Gowasu. Pretty much searches out the same kind of thing, but when you play this card, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 god among them, and add to your hand. Now, almost all of this deck is gods. So, if you miss this, there's 4 of those. There's a glare too. I kind of want to get rid of the glare, but I don't know exactly how. But, so that's gonna be this. So you're rarely ever gonna miss this. I don't have as many Frieza targets in my Frieza deck, and I almost never miss with Frieza. So Gowasu is almost always gonna hit. These are your 2 draw drops for turn 1. We're not playing Boo because Boo doesn't really play into the theme. He's more of a C tier card in this build than he's an A tier card. Next, you have your turn 2 objections. The goal of this deck is to just mana ramp. Mana ramp as fast and as hard as physically possible to get to your either Whis or your Beerus effect. The goal of this deck is to ramp up as high as you possibly can, get your opponent into a position where you're just like, I don't even know what you're going to do, and just blast them. Blast them in the face with all your gods. Also, keyword, this guy's a god. Important to note for later, because we're going to get into that later. We're actually going to put him up here. Next we have the Courageous Beard Yashirobe. Courageous Heart Yashirobe. We're rocking 4 of these. He's not a god. He should be, though, because look at that beard. Just saying. He is a blocker with Revenge, so this deck kind of stalls a little bit if need be. With the way the metagame's forming and setting up like this, you're not going to need to stall as much as you used to, but the game's becoming more slow-paced, and people aren't attacking until later on in the game and stuff like that, but these are still necessary to make sure you can get to the turns you need. And he has Revenge, so he's one of the best blockers. Not only does he block for a turn, but there's a potential he gets rid of a guy. Or you make your opponent pay a card to get rid of him. You know what I mean? So I just think he's a really great card. Really amazing. Next, we're playing Taunting Piccolo. We're only playing 3 of him. We're playing another Piccolo in a deck as well, but the Taunting Piccolo, he's also a turn 1 blocker, or a turn 2 blocker, turn 2 blocker. He's an Namekian god, so the god will come in handy later. We're going to pop that up there, just as a reminder. But he's also a blocker, so he's gonna be able to stall that game out just a little bit more, just like you need to. Next is turn 4. We kind of skip turn 3. We go straight into turn 4 Whis. This is the Whis that your Bulma's grabbing. Super important to mana ramping, and then just after you mana ramp, you either sack them off to combo, or you just kind of wait for the rest of your God combo, which we're leading up to. We're leading up to in a sec. But he also has God, which is super important. We're gonna just pop him right there and set these cards aside. Next, you have your next God. We're using the set 1 Energy Boost Beerus. I debated on using this one or the set 2 one. I personally think this one's better. Also, there's another Whis you could potentially try out. You can stagger between. You don't have to run 4 of these Whis. You can run like 2 of these Whis and 2 of the other Whis. But I just think this one's better for mana ramping. This is your turn. This is your essentially turn 5 play. But with the mana ramp, you're not hitting on turn 5. You're essentially hitting on turn 3 or 4, because if you hit turn 2 objection into turn 3 hitting Whis, like you're actually hitting on turn 4 like you're supposed to curve, and it goes insane because you're just blowing up guys and doing what he needs to. Also, he's got that keyword God. So like I said, I do gotta get this camera in focus. I do need to see what I can do to get it in focus, but we're gonna keep going. This is the end of the God combo. Turn 7, God of Gods, Great Priest. So, he's Double Breaker. Nice to note. 2000 power, turn 7, auto. When you play this card, if your leader is a god, which Beerus, the God of Destruction, is, note his name, and he has the god in both forms. If your leader is god, choose any number of other god in your battle area and send them to your energy in rest mode. So this, if these guys are on field, boom, blow them all up. If you don't need them, blow as many as you want up. They go to mana. You just ramped yourself mad, insane in the membrane. You just ramped yourself. Next turn, you're gonna go ham. Your opponent knows they have 1 turn to do stuff, and then you're going ham next turn. So you don't have to send all of them. Like say you have say you want to keep your Beerus on the board because you want to attack with it or whatever. You decide, okay, I'm just gonna send these 3 to mana. Boom. You say you want to keep your blocker on field to buy you that turn. You decide to send 3 too. But this is the God of God, Great Priest is going to be your top of your God combo. This is what's going to gain you all that mana and make sure you hit into your Whis combo. We're taking 1 Zeno the Plain God. This is from set 2. When this card is put into play, negate all other battle cards' skills. Choose all cards in both players' hands as well as their battle area and shuffle them into their deck. Afterwards, both players draw 5 cards. And yeah, so that's pretty amazing. You're only taking 1 of this because you're not going to want to play it too often. You're going to want to play it sometimes. Sometimes your combos have just gone off pretty decently well, but you're looking at a hand disadvantage because you have objection. You have played, like you've overextended to get this mana. We'll say you overextended to mana ramp here. This Zeno says, you know what? I've done everything. I've got rid of, like, all I have left is my God of Gods on board. I'm playing this. Reset everything. Give me a new hand, and now I can draw into my Whis. Right there, right then. You want your Whis after that. Like, he's what sets you up for that late game end. Because there's 2 cards that are gonna end the game for you. One of them is Whis. You have 4 Whis Judge of Gods. He's a quadruple breaker. Permanent when this card attacks, and this card's attacks and skill cannot be negated. When you play this card, if your leader is Beerus, which your leader is, you take after this turn ends, you take another turn. So this just says another turn, another turn, another turn, another turn, and like you just keep getting to like abuse. Like your opponent doesn't get any more turns; they don't get to untap their mana. They don't get to do this, that, and the other thing. You just get to untap your mana, take a whole nother turn. Absolutely insane, amazing effect, and you're just gonna ramp for it. Your other if you run out of Whis right away, this is your other end piece. So say you hit a Whis, and then next turn you have mana to spend, obviously. So you drop a God Goku. So his attack still can't be negated. So he breaks 4 shields. He breaks 4 shields again. This guy can't be countered or negated either. So he just... It's just insane. Like, these are your end game. These are what you're going for. This is what's gonna... Your opponent just can't play the game. Like, literally, this just says, you know what? Everything you were planning, all this negation, you can sit there on your 6 squeeze coercions. Not gonna help you. Not gonna help you whatsoever. So to get to this point, obviously we have blockers. Blockers are probably your best friends. And once your opponent sees what they're doing, they're probably going to go more aggro to you. So we have 2 different... Blue actually has 2 different negates. It has the Mafuba, which essentially buys you extra turns for 1 creature. So you turn off till the end of their next turn. They can't untap their guy, and it's locked and all that kind of stuff. So Mafuba locks 1 creature down for multiple turns, which is huge. It negates an attack and locks it down for an entire extra turn. Like I said, absolutely insane. Then you have Weeze's Coercion, pretty standard. You have 4 of those, and then as always, you need your booster, your turn 2 guy. But another interesting thing is if, and I don't suggest you do this often, but if you do need to overextend, he also has that keyword God too. So you can play him if you have the extra mana. Like say you're sitting on like 9 mana, this will be the turn that pushes you over the edge. You play it. You play your God of Gods, priest, and you just go ham next turn. If you're able to overextend, it's really cool. If not, I mean, this is still a really good card. It just happens to have that extra thing, kind of like Dodoria has that ability to be Frieza's army. So if you had to, not saying it's an optimal play, but if you had to, you could just sack it off to get your untap and your draw and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of nifty. I really like the updated version of the Beerus deck, the Gods deck. So I think it's going to be fun to play. I have tested a little bit, not too much. I'd like to test a little bit more over the upcoming weeks. If you guys have tested it, if you guys have any suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys for the next video again. The next one's probably going to be a new deck as opposed to a updated deck, so get hyped for that. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet and you're at the end of this video, hit that subscribe button. You guys, you're seeing this deck, you're liking this deck, hit that sub button so you don't miss any more future decks from this card game. I also do Pokemon LPs. See you later. That was the worst intro ever, or outro. See, I can't. PokeRuss out. Peace.